Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's episode of Prosecco and Peonies, I have my friend with me again, Ashley.
Hi.
Of the Little Flower Bunch. And on today's segment, we're going to be showing you how to make a beautiful spring floral bouquet in a pitcher, like this. So, if you're interested in seeing how we got these beautiful arrangements, please keep watching. Alright, so for the tutorial, I'm just gonna tell them like what I got. These pictures are super affordable, and I got them from Target.
Target for the win.
Target for the win. You could get them at IKEA, or any store that sells pictures. I mean, I'm sure you could even get them at like a Ross or a Marshall's if you look hard enough. But if you want them identical, most best shot, Target. Okay? And you were so lovely and kind to provide the florals that we're going to be using for our pitcher arrangement. And we have, what do we have today? We just have a lot of gorgeousness going on.
We have a good mixture. And in the last tutorial I did, I kind of talked about how much I love texture.
Yes.
I just love when you look at an arrangement, it's got a bunch of different things going on, and not in like an overwhelming, like, whoa girl kind of way, but like a nice, like, there's beautiful fluffy flowers, there's some with more structure.
Yes,
so
I love that.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I picked out. We've got some beautiful tulips, we've got classic roses, we have a couple different types of carnations down there and down there, as well as
beautiful.
Yeah, I love the color. It's super like bright and vibrant.
Let's talk about these ones for a second, because what you told me.
Yeah.
These have like a really special name. So why don't you tell us about
these little alien-like flowers? They're actually called scabiosa. So scabiosa.
It rolls
so
off the tongue.
Beautifully. It's like French. Scabiosa. But
They're gorgeous.
Terrible name, beautiful flower.
Yeah.
Highly recommend, because they are just add such great like fun little pop of color and texture, and they're just super unique, and it's not something that you see every day. Exactly. But I got it at my local wholesaler, so and they sell to the public as well, so even if you don't have a business license or anything like that, you can still go in there and buy. So no matter what city you're in, you can just do a little Google search, call up your local wholesaler and ask them if you can come in. And then we've also got some beautiful peonies down there. As well as seeded eucalyptus. We've got variegated pittosporum, which grows in front of a lot of Publix supermarkets, Florida gals.
I have some in my front yard.
Really?
Yeah, we have some of these.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know what they were called though.
You might see me outside of your window,
foraging.
like at nighttime, like snipping. And then don't mind me. And then we've got our Italian ruscus, which is one of my favorite greeneries.
I feel like that's your signature.
Yes.
Like, greenery, because every time, like, Ashley owns a Little Flower Bunch here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a everyday flower delivery service, and on Instagram, if you follow her, every day she'll take a picture of her bunch with her shoot. It's like, I'm like, I recognize the shot because it's you.
Yeah, I take it like this with my shoes.
She takes an aerial shot of the bunch and has her flats in. It's so cute, but there's one thing that you'll always probably see in the bunch, and it's this beautiful greenery. What is it called again?
Italian ruscus.
Italian ruscus.
Super, it sounds very exotic.
I feel like I'm in a like, Sienna or something. Oh, yes. I know my wine.
But yes, so
what did you do for us to get started?
Okay.
Because you don't want to just like stick flowers. I don't know what happened to my hair. Hold on a second. You don't just want to stick flowers in a pitcher and call it a day.
Exactly. And like our last tutorial, we did more of a freestanding vase arrangement where we didn't have the floral foam inside the vase. We just had it with water, and then we did the tape across.
The grid,
But with this, since it's not a clear vase, you can use floral foam. put it in there, and it just allows the stems to be held in place. It is, lets you do a bit of a bigger, kind of more, I guess, whimsical arrangement rather than one that's more structured. So this stuff you can find at Michael's. I'm pretty sure you can get it at like Hobby Lobby, craft stores. It's just in the floral section. And you do want to get the wet floral foam, not the dry one, because there is a difference. Dry floral foam's for like silk flowers, if you want to do like fake wreaths or things like that. The wet floral foam is going to be for fresh flowers because you soak it, and then it keeps the moisture in there, and so it's like slowly giving the flowers some water. So yeah, they will last. I've had people tell me that their arrangements in floral foam have lasted a while.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Your arrangements last forever.
Oh,
they
thank
do.
you.
So I don't know what you do. Like, I don't know but they last forever. Like, you had done the arrangement for the bike, like that shot. That thing lasted like more than 3 weeks.
That's good.
That's not good. That's amazing.
That's good.
So take the tips from Ashlea.
Yes.
Soak wet flower foam. Okay.
And then you just basically cut it up to form into your vase. Obviously, every vase is going to be different. The floral foam comes in little blocks. So you can just take your kitchen knife like I was doing earlier, which you did not see. I was hacking up the block and sticking it in. But yeah, you just want to make sure that all the areas are covered so that when you're sticking the stems, they're going into floral foam.
So it'll actually go through this? Okay.
Yeah, and it's really therapeutic as well. Just like sticking like...
I need this. It's going to be my therapy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, like, therapy can be like such a drag.
But this is a good...
This is like a pretty therapy. Okay.
Here we go. Okay.
So we started last time with greenery. So is that how we do this?
Yes, exactly. So we're going to start again with greenery because the greenery just adds the structure to your arrangement, and it's going to give you a good kind of framework to be able to see what you want it to look like, how big and tall you want it to be. So I would recommend first you start with the most leafy, kind of lush greenery that you have. And so this little guy, as I said, it's called variegated pittosporum. But if you want to be a cool like florist lingo, you can say, hey, give me some pit, and then that's what it's called.
That's some good pit.
Yeah, some pit, some scabiosa, And the good thing about this stuff is it usually has like a bunch of different branches on it, so you can actually break it off into smaller pieces. So like you could break that off, and then you just want to clear the leaves from the bottom. And anything that you stick in here, you're going to want to cut it at an angle, cut the stem at an angle so that it easily goes into the floral foam. So like this, for example, I'm going to start kind of on the outside, and I'm just going to plop it in like that. And then I'm going to do a few more that are just on the outskirts, some in the middle, and again, that's just going to start adding like a nice little framework. So yeah, so you can do that. You can literally, like, if you want to use the entire stem, you can just cut that and kind of plop it in the middle, which I think is what I might do. But yeah, as long as you're just clearing the leaves away and then cutting at an angle so that it is nice and smooth.
And a great tip that you shared last time was you never want to have leaves in your water because that will cause mold and nastiness to start. So anytime, even if you're having a clear vase, you always want to make sure you clear the flowers and insert it just the stem, no leaves in your water.
Yes, because a lot of people, they'll grab like bouquets from the supermarket or something, they'll put them in water and they'll be like, oh my gosh, they die after 2 or 3 days, but it's because usually you're not taking the leaves off of the bottom.
That was me before I saw the light. I'm florally woke.
I like that. Hashtag florally woke. So I'll give you this one. Okay. And you can probably just stick this whole thing. There you go.
Thank you.
And then again, this is just giving us a little bit of a framework to work with. And then once we have our greenery, let's see, maybe I'll give you this one, and if you want to cut that and then stick that in there. And then once you have one type of greenery, you can go ahead and go on to the next type of greenery that you have. And so we can use some of the seeded. Yeah.
Okay.
And usually seeded eucalyptus, as you can see, it has like tons of different things going on. So you can break off. Like that. And again, just making sure that you're cutting it at an angle.
Okay, so I just split this. Is this salvageable? Like I split it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you probably won't even want a stem that's long, that is that long anyways. But yeah, that's totally salvageable.
Yeah, the other video I couldn't say preservation, so, and I'm like, yeah, I went to school, I promise. Like, I know how to speak.
Hey, it's okay. But yeah, adding a couple different types of greenery is just a really nice way to add a bit of variation. There's nothing wrong with having just one type of greenery, but it's definitely personal preference. And for me, I love the look of, you know.
I do too. And every time, like, I notice a floral arrangement that I end up repinning or something like that, they have multiple kinds of greenery. So definitely find out what you like. You know, there's no harm in like going Pinterest crazy a little bit. You'll figure out your floral kind of style when you're designing, and anyone can do it either way. If you want to do one kind of greenery or mix it up, but I definitely kind of favor mixing it up.
And what I tell people is, honestly, when I teach, you know, classes like this, and I show people how to do arrangements, and everyone is always really nervous and they're like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this. And then I just say, look, just wait till we're done, and then you're going to be like, that was a lot easier than I thought, and I want to become a florist. So it just takes a little bit of practice, and the good stuff about this floral foam is you can kind of pull stuff back out, put it back in. Obviously you don't want to do it too much because then it starts ruining the foam. But there is a little bit of wiggle room as far as playing around with it. And with the greenery, you're doing a great job of like doing the whole framework, and kind of like we're doing, you don't want to completely fill it up because next is going to be the flowers. But you just want to make sure that you have a nice like little base. And then you can always add more greenery once you're done as well. And like this Italian ruscus, I like to add this kind of at the end because it's a nice little finishing touch.
They kind of just like, I don't know what's the word.
You don't even need a word. Just that. They just
they just like
like drape?
Drape.
Like drape.
Yeah.
Ethereal.
Exactly.
Ethereal
like
draping.
That's a $1,000 word. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very much so.
So the next step, once you've got your little base of greenery, is that you're going to want to add what I call your feature flowers. So those are going to be your bigger flowers. So for today, it's going to be your favorite.
These are so beautiful. And when I saw them, that you brought them, I was like, oh my gosh.
I knew that they're your favorite, so I brought them. But yeah, so you'll want to add like the bigger flowers first, just as like your kind of big pop. And then it's important when you're doing an arrangement to kind of, you know, give a little spin, like making sure that you're getting all sides. But yeah, again,
with like when you're finishing your outfit, like you're putting an outfit together, you have to look at it at all angles because you think it's like okay in the front, and then you bend over. It's not okay.
Yep.
Not okay.
No, I totally feel you. And you can play around with the length of the stem as well. Like if you can cut it a little bit long at first and see how that works. So like I'm just going to stick one right in the middle as kind of like my little base.
Feature. Oh, that's beautiful already.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
You can't go wrong with flowers. And that's another thing I always tell people is maybe you can.
What were you saying?
Maybe you can go wrong.
It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. Do I need that? Yeah, I'm going to just cut it.
Yeah.
I won't use that one as my feature one. Try again.
And I can switch because I can always use this one down here on the side. So see how I've kind of done them at different lengths? Yeah, perfect. And then you can use those. You can use both of those if you want. And it's great to do like different heights as well.
Yes.
So exactly what you're doing one that's a little bit higher, one that's lower. If you want, you can go ahead and use this third one as well, and then do that like maybe in between. But yeah, again, it just adds that nice visual interest.
I'm telling you, like, my flower arrangement skills have gone up since our last time together.
Good.
Because I would literally just take the arrangement as is, like at Publix or Walmart, where I get them, and kind of just like unhappy with it. But now I'm not afraid to take it apart.
Good.
And, like,
oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. That makes me happy. Okay, and then the next one we're going to want to work with are the roses that we have. Again, I'm just kind of going like in size order, just to fill up the space with some of the bigger flowers, and then you can go in with some of the more like smaller petite flowers to fill in some of the space.
Gotcha.
So I'll hand you some of these. Be careful because they do have thorns on them.
Can't have the roses without the thorns.
Amen.
Thank you.
You know, totally off topic, I made a realization the other day. Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Okay. A rose. Beauty and the Beast. Like thorns. Beast. Ow. Like ugly, beautiful. I don't know if that's just me.
No, that was deep.
Everyone at home is like,
mind explosion.
So.
I love it. Anyone
on Disney threads on like Reddit or whatever, wherever people thread things, quote me.
Ashlea at a little flower bunch. The thorns, yeah, it's like a metaphor.
Yeah. Yep, I know.
Disney does that though.
Disney's
always like, it's more behind just a song or a scene.
Exactly.
So I was like doing this like kind of pretentiously. I was just like playing with a flower and like I knew I was blowing into it. Like I knew what I was doing. But it's a really great trick to open up the petals, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. If you have roses that you get and maybe you need them for a shoot that day and you get them and they're super tight buds, there's a couple different things you can do. You can cut the stems at an angle, make sure you get all the leaves off. And put them in warm water. Like if you stick your hand in and it feels like water that you would take a bath in, it actually helps them open up a lot quicker. And then you can sit there and you can blow on the petals to help them open up a little bit. You can even kind of gently take your finger and kind of move them around. And then on the reverse of that, if you get peonies maybe that are opened up a lot, but you need them for a photo shoot like in 2 days, you can put them in cool water in a cool room out of the sun, and they'll stay alive a little bit longer.
Cool. What about Clorox? I've heard about that being a tip.
Yeah.
Is that like a myth? Or?
No, I have heard that. Like all of my vases and my buckets and stuff, I'll actually give a good clean out with bleach every so often, and you'd think that it would kill the flowers, but it actually apparently helps. So, but with my flowers that I do on a daily basis, I actually don't use any flower food. I don't use any special like sugar in the water or...
Really?
Yeah. I just, all natural.
They last. I don't know what you do. Like,
I think it's because I get them from the wholesaler that day, and then they go out that day as well. So they're super fresh. How are you feeling about yours? Oh, you're doing the whole peel thing. I like it.
I saw.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I saw this girl do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to experiment. Chabeli, who's behind the camera, was just saying that. Like, she's like a self-taught, like behind the camera and everything, but you just learn from your mistakes and you just keep going. And that's how you develop your own style and you learn and grow. So I saw this girl do it. So now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it adds so much like volume and like just beauty to a flower. So just look how different like these two roses look now because they're one's being opened up a little bit more. You get a completely different effect.
Yeah. And again, you just want to make sure that you're kind of turning your vase and making sure that it's looking good, like on all angles. And you can have, you can put some lower so that they're coming out of the side a little bit more, so it's bringing some length to the arrangement. Now, what's your all-time favorite flower? Is it a peony?
No, it isn't. Just because, like, I ended up limiting myself, like, from all the beauty that's out there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, you brought me into, like, appreciation of carnations.
Yes.
And, like, just manipulating the petals can create, like, a completely different flower.
Yeah.
So I appreciate a carnation, but ranunculus.
Yeah.
That is just, I just feel it has so much, like, personality. And the stem is actually beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's such a,
because they're a little, like, curvy and kind of whimsical.
Like me.
Curvy and whimsical.
You know, like a ranunculus, like a flower. But I love that it just has, like, some movement to it.
I agree.
What about you? What's your flower of choice?
I'd say ranunculus.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're twins with that.
Twinning. Yeah. Oh, wait, we should do, like, the emoji, like...
Oh, yeah. Twinning, and then...
What
do they do with their hands?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to start adding in some of the smaller flowers. So you can start adding in some of the carnations, the tulips, the little scabiosa.
A little scabiosa.
A little bit of some scam. And as you're going along, if you see anything with your flowers, like little kind of crispy dead petals, you can peel them off, wonky petals. You know, you just want to make sure that it looks
so like I removed this like right off of it.
Yeah, so some flowers like the scabiosa, the stems are very thin, so they can end up having like a little bit of a natural droop, which is why they come packaged in like the little tubes. But I love it. I think that it adds a really nice element to arrangements when things don't necessarily look perfect, you know. It's looking good.
Yeah. Can you pass me actually one of the I think I want to add one more open up.
Yeah, here you go.
Balance that out.
Yeah, balance, that's definitely key. Definitely things don't have to be symmetrical, but balancing is always nice with colors and the types of flowers that you're using. Oh yeah, it's looking good. Are you feeling very zen right now?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
I am.
And this is a great thing to do as well if you just like get some girlfriends together, have some wine and cheese, put on some of your favorite music, just hang out.
I agree. And I feel like it can be kind of like therapeutic because if you guys don't already, I'm a nurse full time, and one of the things that people always tend to bring to hospitals are flowers because flowers do exactly that. They help kind of just cheer someone up. And there have been studies that show that flowers have an effect on someone's actual recovery.
Oh, wow, really?
And it might not be directly, you know, obviously if you have a poor prognosis, but their quality of life while they're
That's awesome.
in the process of like dying. So flowers are never a bad idea unless you're on the ICU.
Right. And
like you're not allowed to bring flowers there, or on a hemoc floor, a cancer oncology floor. Because they pose a threat for infection.
Interesting.
But other than that, flowers, like, you can't go wrong because you're going to help someone just feel better.
Yeah.
Even if it's for a couple of days while they're alive.
Yeah, I love them.
And that's what I love about flowers. Regardless of them, like, you know the outcome at the end, like, they're going to die. They still provide joy while they're alive.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't take away from the time that you have them. They're just so pretty.
Yeah, it's funny because my mom, before I started this business, actually did not like to receive flowers as a gift. Because she was like, oh, they die anyways, so why get them? And I'm like, because they brighten your environment, they smell nice, they just make your room feel put together. And then sure enough, I started giving her flowers, and she was like, these are amazing.
Do you have like a really great story about like a delivery, like something that's memorable?
I've gotten a lot of people crying, which I love. I think because the flowers that I do end up being more affordable because they're only $30 and that includes delivery. There's a lot of people that are getting flowers now that maybe their like spouses or friends or whatever couldn't afford to send flowers before. So I get a lot of first time people receiving flowers to their door.
That's the best.
Yeah.
But I would imagine because like I remember my first delivery, I was in college and when you're in college, you're broke.
Yes.
And flowers are a luxury. But someone knew I was having a really rough week in nursing school.
Aww.
And there's not really much you can do
to
help the person because it's really like eventually you're just gonna get with it and just keep going. But a little pick me up, she gave me like a bouquet of flowers.
Aww.
And I brought it into my dorm room, and that's when I think I fell in love with like fresh flowers in my house. Yeah. Because I never really thought about, like, I didn't think it was an expense that was necessary. Yeah. It was just a luxury. But now I can't live without flowers. Yeah. Like if I don't have flowers in my house, I just feel something's missing.
And they definitely don't have to be expensive. Like you can literally, if you watch a few, tutorials like this or other ones that are out there and you just learn how to rearrange like bouquets from your grocery store, it's something that you can always have nice fresh flowers. Exactly. Or even baby's breath sometimes. Just like getting baby's breath and putting it in different jars around your house.
Or even like a single like a single strand of baby's breath in like a small tiny vase is just so pretty.
So how are you feeling about your arrangement? Do you have any questions?
I'm feeling good, but I definitely want to keep adding florals. I love how my roses are kind of like the focal point. Yeah. And everything else are just adding to it. It's kind of just, it's so pretty.
Could you hand me a few of the scabious?
Yeah. Can you pass some tulips?
I will.
Thank you.
And now with the tulips, their stems, like tulips and ranunculus, their stems are very fragile. Yes. So if you cut them and you can't get them into the floral foam, you can always use a hardier stem to kind of pre-make a little hole. Gotcha. And then stick the tulip in there.
So would I take this leaf off too? Everything else?
Yeah. Okay. And then you just cut it to your desired length.
And should I always cut at an angle?
Yeah, it just helps with the water flow a little bit better that way. And then something you'll want to do as you're nearing towards the end is like I always do the eye level check where I kind of go down because obviously you don't want to see a lot of the like green floral foam. So you can go back at the end with like small flowers or small pieces of greenery to kind of cover it up.
Gotcha.
What I love about helping people do their own arrangements is I love seeing everyone's different style and how that is interpreted. And some people love the kind of like wild and crazy look. Some people love the more like put together. So it's just fun to see what different people enjoy. And I feel like your personality really comes out in it as well.
I couldn't agree more. And it's kind of like when you go take a wine and paint class. Like you get instructed to paint the same exact image, and you guys get the like craziest like differences. It was like the funniest thing, but it was just like all of them look different. Yeah, like we followed like literal directions. Yeah, like, word by word, and we still came out with different pieces of art.
I feel like it's probably like that with fashion too, right? Yeah. Like it's everyone's interpretation of one look could be super different.
I'm gonna need a couple more scabbies.
Oh girl, you can have all the scabs you want. So as I mentioned, as I'm getting closer to the end, I'm giving it a little look kind of eye level, and as you can see there's like some you can see some green, so I'm just sticking some little flowers and greenery down there to cover it. Somebody once told me I was actually teaching a workshop like this, and she mentioned that she had been told before that she was taught by another florist that that's called covering your panties, and it made me feel weird because that word makes me feel weird.
I don't want another woman like saying that word to me.
I know.
Even like when I'm at the hospital and my patients like they tell me like they need to go potty, like grown people, like grown adults. I'm like, no, don't say potty and panties.
I know. I feel like even saying that word, I started blushing.
Don't say that, please.
But essentially, it just means cover it all, ladies. Make sure nothing's showing.
Make sure nothing's up. I can appreciate
the reference.
But yeah.
And like I just did, I had like one long stem of this pittosporum, and I just cut it into a couple different ones because when you're covering the bottom, you just need like little tiny baby stems. Just enough to have it fan out. Have you ever done a fashion look that's inspired by florals?
Dolce & Gabbana a couple years ago on the runway had a lot, like literal florals as the fashion.
Ooh, that's fun.
And so I haven't done something like couture like that.
Yeah.
But it seems like in my everyday fashion anyway, I'm wearing bright colors. I'm wearing something that just reminds me of spring because that's my favorite season.
Oh,
so
nice.
I tend to just gravitate towards like spring colors because that's like it's everything's alive and blooming and beautiful. So not anything in particular, but just altogether like I would say my fashion is very spring-like.
Yes.
I would say.
I would agree with that. I love how you're always wearing fun colors.
Thank you. I need a little bit of greenery to cover my bases. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Go. So
Did
like
you forage for this?
No, I didn't. I bought it at the wholesaler.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to be foraging at your house from now on. So. But yeah, so you can cut it into different little sections so you can really utilize all of the... But yeah, that I just got at my local wholesaler. But you can definitely forage. I recently went on a trip to California, and I always wondered, I saw florists post things about foraging for plants and flowers for bouquets, and I was like, how do they do that? And then I went to California and I understood, because there is some amazing, I love Florida, but there's some amazing stuff that just grows wild in California, like beautiful flowers and greenery.
I
and
love the bougainvillea. That's just everywhere in California.
I was like, okay, this is what they mean by foraging. Because when I go to forage in Florida, I get Spanish moss, which you shouldn't use because I think it has like bugs in it.
Yeah, bacteria, fungi.
Yeah. Although you can get those cute little like clementine, like little oranges that you can put in bouquets.
That's true.
And that's another
really
thing.
cute.
Again, it's like if you're doing this for your own home, you can add stuff. Like I've seen people add artichokes. Like artichokes that are on the little stems, little oranges, grapes, berries, like a blueberry stem, all kinds of fun things like that.
This, I think, is the epitome of spring.
Yes.
Like what we're doing.
I would agree. Especially, I don't know what it is about the picture, but it makes me think spring.
Yeah.
Like maybe lemonade, tea out on your front porch. I don't have a front porch.
I don't either, but everyone thinks when you live in the South
you
have one.
You have like a wraparound porch. And
rocking chairs.
Yeah.
Sipping sweet tea. Funny story about sweet tea. I'm from Boston and like we don't have sweet tea. And so when I first moved to Florida, I went out to dinner with a couple of friends and everybody at the table was ordering sweet tea. And I'm like, that sounds so cute and darling.
I want some sweet tea.
I want sweet tea. I'm like, we have iced tea.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
Definitely different. So I order it and I literally taste it and I'm like, spit it out. It's It's sweet tea.
Especially depending on where you go.
Oh my gosh, it's so intense.
That's funny.
So, needless to say, I'm not a sweet tea drinker.
Yeah.
I'm more of a lemonade girl.
Yeah. What about a good Arnold Palmer?
I do like
half tea, half lemonade.
I don't mind that. It's just like when it's so sweet, I just can't. And my coworkers are like, if it's not gonna give you diabetes, it's not sweet tea. And I'm like, oh my gosh, not healthy.
No, thank you. You're like, also, I'm a nurse.
Exactly. Can you pass the light pink carnation?
Yeah. Here you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I might add, if you could pass me a stem of that guy, and then once I do that, I'm going to add some Italian ruscus, and then I think I will be done with mine. I've seen some florists that have, like, you know those little things that your parents used to have in the middle of the dining table that had like the butter and the salt and stuff, and it could spin, you know? Like it's used, everyone can have it. They put their arrangements on one of those little spinny things so that they can just spin it and see all different sides of it.
Rule of thumb, like, do you know the origins of that?
No.
Okay, so rule of thumb is based off of what was allowed for you to beat your wife or child in like ancient days. Like, you were allowed to beat somebody with a switch as long as it wasn't bigger than your thumb.
I'm sorry, what?
I know that took a left, but
this got really dark. Welcome to dark story time.
But when I heard, I was like, oh my gosh. So a lot of things that we say, like, are referenced to a lot of, like, really negative things. Or, like, ring around the rosy.
Yeah.
That has, like, negative origins.
Yeah.
So
it's like about
teaching your kids.
Is that the one that's about the plague?
Yeah,
and all the kids?
The Black Plague, like, everyone died, and like, you had a ring around
your rosy?
The spots you would get.
Oh,
like, there was, like, would be a ring. I'm glad we have healthcare.
Yeah.
And we've advanced a little bit. But yeah, you sing that song. I mean, I remember singing it as a kid.
I love how different types of greenery, again, like this Italian ruscus is a super dark green, but the eucalyptus is like a dusty green, and the pittosporum is like a light green, and just the different colors, I think, are just, so fun together.
Depth.
Yes.
To create that depth.
Looks really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that. I love that. I do.
It looks good. Now, what do you now have doing this one with the floral foam, but then you've also done the one just in the vase? Which one do you prefer?
I like this one.
Yeah.
I like that it helps me just get the flowers in the spot that I want it instead of like, because the tape is like helpful, but you risk like it lifting.
Yes.
It just helps you more. I just feel.
And once the flower's in there, it's in. It's not going to move or shift or... You want another piece?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So yeah, if you are going to do this at home, the important things to think of when you're picking out your flowers are color, you know, doing complementary colors, or doing, like, these are all similar color family with like the pinks and the purples, just different variations. So you want to plan out the color scheme beforehand, and then just get a bunch of different textures. You know, you've got the fluffy peonies, you've got the more structured tulips, you've got the fun little scabiosa, lots of different types of greenery, the soft petals from the roses, because the more that you add in there, the more there's to look at, the more, like you were saying, depth, and yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I think I'm going to add one more here. And then, looks good. Do you like it?
I do. I love it. I love it.
And then once you kind of take a look at it, you can see if there's anything else you want to add or take away, and do your final little, you can do pruning, cut pieces of greenery. There you go.
So
good job. I'm so proud of you. You have such adoration in your eyes for your masterpiece.
I do. I feel very proud of this.
Yeah, and see, it really wasn't that hard, was it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
This is something that anyone can do. I think the fear of the unknown is what gets people.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not a florist. I don't have like the space for it.
Right.
Just a table.
Yeah, like your kitchen countertop.
Like you don't have to be professional. You don't have to be in a studio or anything.
Exactly.
It's something you can do at your house.
For sure.
All right. Very cool. Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
This is beautiful. Let's get this all cleared out.
Yes.
So we can actually see it on the table.
I agree.
All right. All right, so these are our final arrangements.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ashley.
You're welcome.
You make me feel, and I hope my watchers feel like we can do this. This is something that is not overwhelming, and everyone can like pick up some flowers and make it into their own masterpiece.
100%.
And this is something that would be great for like a gift, like we were talking about graduation, any type of thing.
Yeah.
Flowers, you can't go wrong. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I really enjoyed making them with you.
Okay.
And I will see you in my next video. But until then, stay lovely. Bye.
Bye.